Have you ever noticed that almost everyone dreams about crossing the finish line, but very few are willing to survive the road that leads there? People celebrate the victory. They applaud the trophy. They admire the success. Yet almost nobody stays long enough to witness the mornings that started before sunrise, the nights that ended long after everyone else was asleep, and the thousands of moments when quitting looked easier than continuing. The finish line is never impressed by talent alone. It doesn't care how motivated you felt on Monday. It doesn't care how many plans you made or how many promises you gave yourself. The finish line rewards one thing above everything else: persistence. Not because persistence feels good, because persistence proves something. Every step you keep taking after the excitement disappears builds a version of yourself that comfort could never create. Far too many people believe success is about finding the perfect opportunity. They spend years waiting for the perfect time, waiting until they feel confident, waiting until fear disappears, waiting until life becomes easier. That day never arrives. Life doesn't suddenly hand out permission to become extraordinary. Permission is earned every single day through action. Look around. Dreams are abandoned every hour. Businesses disappear before they ever become profitable. Athletes quit before reaching their potential. Students give up just before understanding the lesson that would have changed everything. Not because they lacked ability, because they stopped before persistence had time to pay them back. Failure has convinced millions of people that one bad day means a journey is over. It doesn't. One bad day is just one page in a much larger story. Missing one workout doesn't destroy your body. Failing one exam doesn't define your future. Losing one opportunity doesn't erase your potential. Giving up does. That is where everything changes. Persistence isn't glamorous. Nobody claps for consistency while you're still unknown. Nobody lines up to congratulate the person who quietly keeps improving every single day. Silence becomes your companion. Doubt becomes your shadow. Progress often hides itself for weeks, months, sometimes even years. Still, every difficult day is adding another brick to a foundation that other people cannot see. Imagine planting a seed. Nothing happens above the ground for a long time. Many people assume the seed is dead. They stop watering it. What they never realize is that growth was happening where their eyes couldn't reach. Roots were forming. Strength was building. The future tree was preparing itself before anyone could admire it. Human potential works the same way. The greatest transformations happen long before the world notices. Every chapter of struggle is preparing you for a chapter of victory. Most people quit because they mistake invisible progress for no progress. That mistake cost them everything. The finish line belongs to those who keep moving even when results refuse to show themselves. Hard work feels unfair in the beginning. Effort seems invisible. Sacrifice appears unrewarded. The days become repetitive. Motivation comes and goes. Discipline remains. Persistence remains. That is the difference between those who almost succeeded and those who actually did. The distance between ordinary and extraordinary is rarely talent. More often, it's simply one person refusing to stop while everyone else walks away. Every race reaches a moment where excitement disappears. The crowd gets quieter. The energy fades. Your legs feel heavier. Your mind starts negotiating. That is the moment that separates people who wanted success from those who decided they would earn it. Comfort has an incredibly convincing voice. It whispers that you've already done enough. It tells you that one day off won't matter. It promises you'll come back tomorrow. Tomorrow becomes next week. Next week becomes next month. Eventually, the dream becomes nothing more than a story you tell yourself about what could have been. Dreams don't disappear overnight. They die in small decisions repeated over and over again. One excuse seems harmless. One skipped opportunity feels insignificant. One moment of laziness appears harmless. Stack enough of those moments together, and they become your future. The opposite is also true. One extra chapter, one more workout, one more business call, one more hour of practice, one more attempt after failure. Those small victories begin stacking on top of each other until your entire life changes. Nothing magical happened. You simply refuse to stop. Look at every mountain that has ever been climbed. Nobody reaches the summit with one giant leap. Every step looks ordinary. Every step feels small. Yet those ordinary steps eventually stand on extraordinary ground. Life works exactly the same way. Progress is built in inches before it is celebrated in miles. Stop searching for giant breakthroughs. Master the ordinary days. Winning isn't built on the days when everything feels easy. Real winners are created on mornings when getting out of bed feels impossible. Champions aren't identified by how hard they can work when they're motivated. Character reveals itself when motivation has completely disappeared. Anyone can chase a goal while emotions are high. Very few continue when nothing feels exciting anymore. That is why persistence has so little competition. Most people remove themselves from a race before reaching the difficult part. Success often arrives after countless people have already gone home. Imagine two people starting the exact same journey. Both are talented. Both are intelligent. Both begin with endless enthusiasm. Months pass. The first person gets discouraged because results are taking too long. The second person keeps showing up anyway. Another year passes. One starts explaining why life wasn't fair. The other quietly becomes a person everyone calls successful. The difference wasn't luck. The difference wasn't destiny. One stayed. One left. Life rewards those who remain in the fight long enough for opportunity to recognize them. Stop expecting the road to become easier. That expectation creates disappointment. Expect resistance. Expect setbacks. Expect moments where everything inside you screams to quit. Then keep moving anyway. Strength isn't built after the struggle. Strength is built during it. Every difficult day is training your mind to become harder than your excuses. Every obstacle is asking one question: how badly do you want the life you keep talking about? Words have never crossed a finish line. Plans have never built a legacy. Excuses have never changed a life. Action has. Persistent action. Again, and again. Long after the excitement has faded, the person who refuses to stop is still moving closer to the finish line. Picture yourself standing at the edge of two different futures. One is built from excuses. The other is built from effort. 5 years from now, only one of them will become a reality. Time doesn't stop because you're uncertain. Days keep passing. Weeks disappear. Months turn into years whether you chase your goals or not. That should wake you up. Every sunrise gives you another chance to build the life you want. Every sunset takes another opportunity away forever. There is no refund for wasted time. Money can be earned back. A failed business can be rebuilt. Lost strength can return. Time is the one thing that never comes back once it's gone. So why keep spending it on hesitation? Look at the habits that quietly control your life. An extra hour scrolling. Another episode you didn't need to watch. Another excuse to delay the work. None of those choices feel dangerous in the moment. That's exactly why they're so powerful. Life rarely falls apart because of one terrible decision. It usually slips away through hundreds of comfortable ones. Now imagine replacing those moments. Read 10 more pages. Practice one more skill. Finish one more task before going to sleep. Wake up a little earlier. Stay focused a little longer. Those decisions may look small today, but they are shaping the person you'll become tomorrow. Nobody accidentally becomes exceptional. Excellence is built through repetition. The strongest minds aren't born stronger. They become stronger because they repeatedly choose discipline over comfort. Pain has a purpose if you're willing to learn from it. Every rejection teaches resilience. Every setback forces growth. Every failure exposes weaknesses that success would have hidden. Running from hardship only guarantees you'll stay the same. Facing it guarantees you'll never be the same person again. There will be days when progress feels invisible. Hours of work produce nothing you can see. Effort seems unanswered. Silence fills a space where results should be. Keep going. The greatest breakthroughs often happen after the longest periods of uncertainty. A rock doesn't split because of the final strike alone. It breaks because every swing before it weakened what couldn't yet be seen. Your work is doing the same thing. Each disciplined choice is another swing. Each early morning is another swing. Each refusal to quit is another swing. Eventually, the obstacle gives way. People watching from the outside will call it an overnight success. Only you will know it was built through hundreds of ordinary days that nobody applauded. Stop chasing quick victories. Build lasting strength. Fast success disappears as quickly as it arrives. A strong character remains when everything else is taken away. The finish line doesn't ask how fast you started. It remembers who refused to stop. Somewhere in the world right now, another person is working while everyone else is asleep. Another athlete is finishing one more lap. Another entrepreneur is making one more phone call. Another student is solving one more problem instead of looking for another distraction. That person isn't special. They're simply refusing to waste the hours that everyone else gives away. The world doesn't slow down because you chose comfort. Competition keeps moving. Opportunities keep passing. Time keeps counting. The question isn't whether someone is getting ahead. The question is whether you're willing to become that person. Hard work is uncomfortable. That's exactly why it changes lives. Pressure creates diamonds. Fire strengthens steel. Resistance builds muscle. Nothing powerful is created without first enduring difficulty. Why should your life be any different? Stop hoping for a lighter load. Become someone strong enough to carry it. There comes a point where excuses become expensive. Every delayed decision costs confidence. Every broken promise to yourself weakens self-respect. Every unfinished goal teaches your mind that quitting is acceptable. That is a dangerous lesson. The opposite is just as powerful. Each promise you keep builds trust with yourself. Each challenge you overcome makes the next challenge smaller. Every difficult task completed becomes evidence that you are capable of more than you once believed. Confidence isn't created by compliments. Confidence is earned by doing things you once thought you couldn't do. Look back at your life. Think about every obstacle that once seemed impossible. At one point, you believed you wouldn't survive it. Yet here you are, stronger, wiser, more experienced. That wasn't luck. That was proof that you can handle far more than your fear tells you. Fear has one job: to convince you to stay exactly where you are. Growth has one requirement: move anyway. There is no guarantee that every effort will succeed. Some plans will fail. Some people will disappoint you. Certain opportunities will disappear before you can reach them. Accept that reality. Then keep moving. Persistence isn't believing you'll never lose. Persistence is deciding that no loss is final unless you quit. Every champion has lost. Every successful business has struggled. Every respected leader has doubted themselves. The difference is simple. They refuse to let temporary defeat become a permanent identity. Don't introduce yourself through your failures. Introduce yourself through your response to them. Stand back up. Adjust the plan. Learn the lesson. Take another step. Repeat it as many times as necessary. One day, the very struggle that almost convinced you to quit will become the story that inspires someone else to keep going. The finish line isn't looking for perfection. It's waiting for the person who has the courage to keep showing up, even when every part of the journey demands that they stop. There comes a day when the pain you've been carrying starts making sense. Not because the road suddenly becomes easy, because you finally realize that every difficult moment was shaping someone stronger than the person who started. The finish line isn't just a destination. It's proof. Proof that you kept your word to yourself. Proof that your excuses didn't win. Proof that your fear never got the final decision. Most people believe success changes a person. It doesn't. Success reveals the person they became while nobody was watching. Long before anyone celebrates you, life is quietly testing you. Will you keep going when there's no applause? Can you stay disciplined when nobody checks your progress? Does your work continue when motivation disappears? Those questions matter more than talent ever will. Character is built in private. Victory is displayed in public. The world only sees the highlight. You remember every sacrifice behind it, every early morning, every lonely evening, every opportunity you turned down, because your future mattered more than temporary comfort. Every moment you chose growth instead of excuses. None of it was wasted. The strongest people aren't the ones who never felt tired. They're the ones who kept moving while carrying that exhaustion. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's refusing to let fear decide your future. Discipline isn't doing what feels good. It's doing what must be done even when every emotion tells you to stop. Look at your life honestly. No filters. No excuses, no stories, no blaming other people. Ask yourself one question. If you continue living exactly the way you are today, where will you be 5 years from now? That answer should either excite you or scare you. If it scares you, good. Now you know something has to change. Change doesn't begin next month. It doesn't wait for a Monday. It doesn't need a new year. It starts with the next decision you make after this moment. One decision, one action, one commitment, then another and another. Momentum is created one choice at a time. Stop searching for motivation every morning. Build standards that don't depend on your feelings. Feelings are temporary. Standards become your lifestyle. Wake up because that's what you promise yourself. Train because weakness isn't your destination. Study because ignorance won't build the future you dream about. Work because nobody else is responsible for creating the life you want. There will always be someone with more talent. There will always be someone with better resources. There will always be someone who starts ahead of you. None of that decides your finish. Persistence closes gaps that talent alone cannot. Consistency defeats intensity that doesn't last. One determined person who refuses to quit can outperform 100 gifted people who keep stopping. Years from now, either thank yourself for staying in the fight, or you'll spend the rest of your life wondering what could have happened if you had refused to give up. The finish line is waiting. It has always been waiting. Not for the fastest, not for the loudest, not for the luckiest, for the one who keeps taking the next step after everyone else has stopped. Right now, there are people who have already decided that their dreams are too far away. They've accepted average. They've convinced themselves that greatness belongs to someone else. Don't become one of them. Your future is being written by the choices you make after this moment. Not tomorrow, not next week. Now, one decision can change the direction of your life. Choose discipline. 1 hour of focused work can separate you from thousands of people who spent that same hour making excuses. Choose effort. One difficult conversation can open the door you've been waiting to walk through. Choose courage. One more attempt can become the breakthrough that changes everything. Choose persistence. Never expect a road to reward you immediately. The strongest trees spend years growing before they become impossible to move. The tallest buildings disappear underground before they rise into the sky. Everything built to last begins with a foundation that nobody celebrates. Your foundation is being built every time you refuse to quit. One day, people will ask how you became so disciplined. They won't see the mornings when you wanted to stay in bed. They won't see the evenings when exhaustion told you to stop. They won't see the battles inside your mind that nobody else even knew existed. Only you will know how many times you almost walked away. Only you will know how many times persistence pulled you back. That is why your victory will mean so much. Not because it was easy, because it cost you something. And the victories that cost the most are usually the ones that last the longest. When life knocks you down, stand back up before your excuses do. When fear whispers that you're not enough, answer with action instead of words. When failure visits your life, let it become your teacher, never your permanent address. Every scar carries a lesson. Every setback carries wisdom. Every challenge carries an opportunity to become stronger than yesterday. Keep walking, keep learning, keep fighting, keep building, keep believing even when the evidence hasn't appeared yet. The finish line isn't moving away from you. Every step you take with persistence brings it closer. Years from now, you'll either be living the life you fought for or remembering the life you could have had. Make sure your future self looks back with pride instead of regret. Leave this video with one promise. No more waiting. No more perfect timing. No more excuses. The work begins today. The journey begins today. The person you've always wanted to become is waiting on the other side of the effort you're avoiding. Go meet that person. And if this message gave you the push you needed today, I'd be honored if you stayed connected by subscribing to the channel. If something in this video spoke to you, leave a like so it can reach someone else who might need these words at exactly the right moment. Share your story in the comments. Tell us what finish line you're chasing, what obstacle you're fighting, or what promise you're making to yourself today. Your words might become the reason someone else refuses to quit. And if you know someone who's struggling, someone who's ready to give up, share this video with them. It can remind them that the finish line doesn't reward the fastest. The finish line rewards persistence. Now close this video. Stand up, get back to work, and don't stop until the life you've imagined becomes the life you're living.